Hey guys, welcome back to Just Cook with Dustin. Today I'm going to be working on a simple sandwich bread recipe. I never really had to bake up until last year, but my youngest son was born with both soy and milk allergies, and finding a good quality bread on the shelf that doesn't contain soy or milk is pretty difficult, and those that don't are organic and really expensive. So I started playing around here in the kitchen and finding a recipe that would work well for us. This recipe we also use to make pizza at home and flatbreads for hummus and curry. Hope you guys will give it a try. For this recipe I use 2 cups of King Arthur's all-purpose non-GMO flour, 1 cup water, 1 tablespoon yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of cane sugar, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. To our stand mixer we're going to add our dry ingredients of 1 tablespoon yeast, 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar, 2 cups of non-GMO all-purpose flour, and a teaspoon of salt. And then we will combine these dry ingredients together. After combining our dry ingredients, we will add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 cup of hot water. With the bread hook attached to our stand mixer, we will turn this on to the lowest setting, allowing these ingredients to combine together. Once these have come together, we will set a timer for 6 minutes to continue to let this work the dough, gradually increasing the speed over that 6-minute period. After the dough is done mixing in the mixer, we will remove it from the bowl and add it to a lightly floured surface with 1 to 2 tablespoons of flour. We will then add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the mixing bowl. We will then begin to knead the dough by hand, mixing in the flour that we've placed on our work surface. You will take the dough and fold it over end over end, kneading it into itself for an additional 2 to 3 minutes until all of the flour on the work surface has been worked into the dough. Then we'll form it into a ball and roll it between our hands, over and over, firming up the surface. Here we'll take the dough and check to see the firmness of the surface and the glutens that are built up and the bouncing back as we push our finger in. Here you can see that the indentation stays for a little bit. So we're going to continue to work this for another minute or so as we continue to work those glutens, firming up the surface even further. And here you can see that the dough bounces back completely again and again, showing that it's ready to go back into the mixing bowl where we have the 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll make sure that this entire dough ball is covered with the olive oil before covering it with plastic wrap, allowing it to proof and rise over a period of 30 to 40 minutes. It should double in size. Once the dough is proofed and doubled in size, we'll remove it from its bowl and begin to work it and shape it into our loaf of bread. As we work the dough, we're going to be pressing our fingers down into the dough, popping any large bubbles that have formed during the proofing process. This will make it so that when you have that loaf of bread and you cut into it, you don't have one big air bubble in the middle. There's nothing worse than trying to go make a sandwich to have a big hole in your bread that you can't spread your mayonnaise on. So we're going to roll this over and crimp it over and over again, pushing out any large air bubbles that may have formed during the proofing process. Once we are done rolling the dough and forming our loaf of bread, making sure that the bottom seam is completely sealed, we're going to place this into a buttered bread pan. Mine is buttered with a dairy-free, soy-free, plant-based oils, butter. And we're going to cover this with the plastic wrap that we used on the mixing bowl, allowing it to proof for a second time in a cold oven. After resting in the oven for an additional 30 to 40 minutes, it should have doubled in size and is ready to be baked. We will bake this in an oven at 325 for 18 to 25 minutes. There is no need to preheat your oven. Just put this in the cold oven and turn it on and allow it to bake for that 18 to 25 minutes depending on your oven. After removing the bread from the oven, you want to let it rest in the bread pan for an additional 5 minutes. This makes it easier to get the bread to release from the pan so that it can continue to cool down on your cooling rack. After your bread is completely cooled, it's ready to be cut into. You don't want to cut into your bread when it's still hot, or to continue to steam and it will actually kind of dry out on you. So you want to wait until it's completely cooled before you cut into. And you can see the crumb on this bread and the small air bubbles that are in there from kneading it as we rolled and shaped the loaf of bread. There's no large gaping holes that your toppings are going to fall through. This is a great sandwich bread. Today I'm just going to spread a little butter on it, and it's so soft and so delicious. I don't think there's anything better in this world that you can have other than a fresh baked homemade bread. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button. And if you could, please share this video with your friends. It really helps me out a lot. And come back with our next video. We're going to be making pizza at home. Thanks, and we'll see you later.